Sponsored by Panasonic. Delivering smart factory solutions for any mix, any volume. Introducing the new NPM W2S. Learn more at panasonicfa.com.
Welcome to the Koh Young booth here at SMTAi 2017. They've got a really exciting new suite of software that we want to talk about, the Ksmart system. But I want to start, first of all, by talking to Juan Arango, who's the Managing Director of Sales, really, for Koh Young, who's done some amazing things over the last few years.
I put a team together in 2014 that's been amazing. We've almost tripled the size of the company. I was employee number 12. Right. We're 32 today.
And how many of these are service engineers?
23 are service engineers.
Wow. So
we say sales sells the first machine, service sells all the others. And our repeat business is very strong.
Right. Well,
so it's been, the market has embraced the 3D technology, and the AOI has been our growth. And we're averaging more than 50 new customers a year. And most of those customers are the smaller 1 to 3 line because we have the big ones already.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, certainly Koh Young got a very early start into the SPI business. Yes. You really stole the market on it, frankly.
The SPI is our cornerstone, but then the AOI is now also number 1 globally. And for us, it's just been quarter by quarter growth, and it's every quarter is a record. So we've been blessed to have such a great team pulling this off.
Yeah, it's a great job. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It sounds interesting. Turning to you, Joel, let's start and look a little bit at Ksmart.
Sure.
I believe it comprises, at the moment, 4 component modules.
That is correct. So
Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. What we're showing here is basically our approach to intelligent platform for smart factory realization, right? So we have our systems, obviously, that are collecting very accurate 3D parametric data, which allows us now to use that in the software tools that we've created to create more efficiency within the program itself, within the system operation itself, within the line performance itself, quality, uptime, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
For an improved bottom line. That's really the output. That's what we're here to provide to our customers, right? A more efficient way of employing all this immense data that we have. The other piece that's really germane to this is the fact that it's really only with true 3D parametric data that you can employ these types of activities, right? You need that to drive the engine. The Ksmart toolkit, if you will, the solutions hub control center is really the piece to the puzzle that does all of that. With all of that data, our systems are providing. So from that, we have the library manager tool, which is utilized for deploying and tracking program changes in a much more efficient manner. Centralized library. The offline debugging tool, which ties into our offline programming tool for using real images for additional tuning. Again, a lot of this is going to be automated behind the scenes as well. We also have our advanced SPC tool, which allows you to drill down and basically dissect in many different ways, line performance, yield, so on. And our link tool, which is the system that ties together our AOI and SPI for fast data correlation. And again, remedy the problem, fix the problem quickly and in time, with more automation, using the resources that we have and the information that we're gathering, a much more automated approach.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a very unique product, and certainly, are you still sending this information back to the printer and then also from the AOI back to the pick and place, or are you developing that further?
Well, that's a great question, and one of the tools that I haven't mentioned yet is actually our newest tool, the Ksmart Process Optimzer, which is basically the next generation of closed loop control with the screen printing process. So with this, we're taking it to a kind of to a new level in terms of not only being able to provide control, but up front being able to do some data analysis through a DOE application to create the right set of parameters to be used for print setup before production even starts.
Right.
Then when we roll into production, we have the application that will actually monitor, provide alarms, information for adjustments to be made on a manual basis. Ultimately, the optimizer is basically set up to take full control of the printer if customer so desires, and make those changes real time with the data that we're collecting.
Okay.
And Ray will tell you a little bit more exactly about what he's doing with that.
So let's go over and talk to Ray. Here we are with Ray Welsh. He's going to give us a demonstration, I believe, Joel, on the Ksmart Process Optimzer. So take it away, Ray.
Yeah, we gave a preview at Apex in February of this year of the Ksmart Process Optimzer. This screen shows kind of the full implement where it's supported by the intelligent platform and supporting the Smart Factory initiative.
Mm-hmm.
What we're focused on today is just the front end here between the SPI and the printer. So we have, for some time now, we've had the closed loop for the offset corrections. So to adjust the printer offsets to dial in the location of the print deposits.
So what range of different parameters can you change, or can you monitor and can you change in the printer? I mean, you've got offsets is one thing. Can you do squeegee blades, pressures,
So
etc.?
on the next generation, which is a part of KPO, it adds in print pressure, print speed, and separation speed.
Okay.
So the first module, which is the printer advisor module, automatically designs the DOE. It executes the DOE. It takes control of the printer. So all you're doing is it designs the DOE, runs that. Printer bit goes into slave mode. You just feed boards. It runs the DOE. It does the analysis, and then it returns suggested recommended print parameters.
Right.
Then you can validate those parameters to see if they are in fact what you want.
Right.
So the customer has a choice of choosing those parameters.
So the customer has a choice of picking the parameters in the first place and then choosing which ones are actually implemented later on.
Yeah, so what it really does is it automates the process of doing DOEs.
Right.
So it gives you, the customer can select a range of parameters for each of those three key parameters. Again, print pressure, print speed, and separation speed. Mm-hmm. And then it runs the DOE automatically, does the evaluation and the analysis of the data, and returns recommended parameters.
Excellent.
So then that's usually be done in the MPI stage, or when you're doing a setup for a new assembly. Then moving on, then we have the printer diagnostic module, which will actually run real-time, look for anomalies in the print process, any kind of what I'll call special cause anomalies, and create alarms to tell the operator, the engineer, there's something that needs to be corrected. Mm-hmm. Then beyond that is the printer optimizer module, which actually will monitor real-time and make corrections to the print parameters.
Right.
So that's kind of looking for moderate drifts and trends in the process where you might correct them with the print parameters.
There's a lot of different monitors in there and corrections. I mean, you've got to be a bit careful about how fine you tune these. You know, you're going to get too many false calls, haven't you?
So you have to set limits of what's going to be a reality check, so to speak,
right.
So you don't drive yourself off the cliff or into a wall.
Right.
So the customer has a choice about that. Some may choose not to let it make corrections at all and just rely on the alarm situations to look for anomalies.
Customers in control.
Yeah. You know, there's be some market segments that don't want to allow any kind of real-time parameter changes for the print process, but at least you know when you're in a situation where you need to stop and make an adjustment to the process.
Yeah, and Joel, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, in the industry about AI coming in, but that's something which, in your case here, the customer has full control over. It's not something that just runs rampant.
Correct, yeah. Obviously we want to provide it in a way that is manageable, right? Again, we have an immense amount of data available because of the 3D information that we're gathering. So we want to employ that very smartly, but also very effectively. So we need to make sure that all bases are covered from that aspect as well.
So you're actually gathering a lot more data than the customer needs, so that maybe 5 years down the road, when he suddenly decides, oh, I need that data, you can historically go back and gather it.
Right, as you go along, you'll build models based on different assemblies, the different print situations and so forth. So you'll learn as you go along, so you can kind of fine tune where you need to be in terms of print parameters. So you're kind of hitting the sweet spot a lot faster than just pure, experimentation.
So we've got the 3D SPI and the printer loop working. You've got something working further down the line on the 3D AOI and the pick and place machine. and presumably the SPI and AOI are also communicating.
Yeah, so there'll be feed forward to the printer. So the printer can rely on some information from the SPI in case, say, there was an X out or a module or an array where you had bad paste issues. You don't want to place any parts on that, so you just want to skip out that particular array. You can do that.
Right.
You can also make it so the print placement is matches with the paste registration.
Right. Now, Joe, I think we talked on this yesterday, that a lot of people tend to use their 3D AOI post-reflow. But be able to change the process or influence the process, you really need to do that pre-reflow. You see more customers actually going pre-reflow with their AOI?
We have lately, yeah. We actually have had a lot of interest in that, and I think as the machine-to-machine initiative grows and we start seeing more results of the work that we're doing with some of our other partners to be able to feed that information back to the mounter, that's where it has to come from. We lose all traceability, if you will, to actual defect occurrence once it goes through the oven. So, we have to be able to pick it up at that point, and we're certainly seeing more interest in that.
Great. Well, I think one of the interesting things about the Koh Young solution is that you seem to be integrating very much with every platform out there. I notice you're working closely with Panasim. There's a bunch of other customers out there that I know that you're working with. I think that has got to be the way forward. You have to have a very open architecture.
Yeah, we have our own structure here that we've talked about today, and our own tools that we're employing as much of this smart factory initiative and realization as we can. But ultimately, we have to also make that information available to our partners, right, to realize the full line smart factory reality.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm going to say thank you, gentlemen, for showing us the Ksmart Optimizer. I'm sure we're going to see more and more developments coming into it as time goes by. But for now, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.